Hey, Bougie Click. Welcome to today's episode where we dive into the complex dynamics of 50-50 relationships and explore why many women feel trapped in these arrangements. Despite the seemingly fair concept of splitting expenses down the middle, the reality is far more complicated. Many women find themselves unable to leave their jobs, not out of a lack of ambition, but due to a lack of support from their partners. We'll discuss how some men who can afford to shoulder the financial burden deliberately choose not to, using this as a method of control rather than partnership. We'll examine the emotional and financial impact on women who are left juggling careers and domestic responsibilities without the option to step back. Stick around as we uncover the truth behind these relationships and why true partnership means more than just splitting bills. If this topic resonates with you, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join the conversation in the comments.
I'ma make you a fan.
Forced into 50-50, why most women can't quit and stay home even if they wanted to. The idea of splitting expenses 50-50 in a relationship is often framed as fair and modern. But let's be real, many women in these arrangements couldn't quit working and become stay-at-home wives even if they wanted to. Not because they lack ambition, but because their men simply refuse to carry the financial load. Even men who could afford to pay all the bills won't. Why? Because they don't want to. Some of these men see financial responsibility as something to dodge. Just like there are men who expect their partners to cook, clean, and raise the children while they sit back and do nothing, there are men who expect financial contributions while never intending to lift a finger beyond the bare minimum. It's not about equality, it's about control. It's about watching their women struggle. They don't want her to have a soft life, because that would mean making her too comfortable, too secure, and ultimately, too free. Providing is a representation of genuine love, a type of affection that these men lack for the women in their lives. In their minds, they have settled for these partners, and they want them to be aware of it. They feel that these women do not merit their support because they do not like them. When you aren't a man's type, he feels like he is the prize. The harsh reality, most women are stuck. Most women in 50-50 relationships are in a financial position where quitting their job simply isn't an option. It's not that she doesn't want to be a stay-at-home wife or because they don't deserve rest. It's that she can't, because the man she's with won't allow it, because their man won't provide for them fully. The moment she expresses a desire to step away from work, the response is swift and uncompromising. "Nah, I'm not covering everything. That's not my responsibility." But here's the kicker, many of these men could pay all the bills if they wanted to. They have the financial means, yet they still refuse. Why? Because keeping her financially dependent on herself ensures she never gets too comfortable, never feels too secure. Some men simply won't step up. A man who wants to take care of his woman will do so, whether he's wealthy or just financially stable. It's about mindset, not bank account size. Yet, many men today actively avoid taking on full financial responsibility for their partners. They want their woman working, struggling, hustling, because they don't want her to experience ease. They don't want her resting. They don't want her having a soft life. They don't want her enjoying the security of knowing that her man has her completely. Men who can, won't, and it's very intentional. Some men genuinely can't afford to pay all the bills, and that's understandable. But what about the men who can, comfortably, but choose not to? The ones who make enough money to provide but still insist their partner keep grinding away because, according to them, it's only fair? Some men have more than enough to cover all the expenses. They can handle the rent, the utilities, the food, and the extras with ease, yet they won't. Not because they can't, but because they choose not to. These men do not want to take on full financial responsibility, not for practical reasons, but for control. These men flat out refuse to cover all the bills. Not because they believe in financial partnership, but because they don't like the woman they're with enough to make her life easier. He wants her there for convenience, not because he values her comfort or happiness. He sees the relationship as transactional, making sure he gets the benefits of a girlfriend or wife while ensuring she never feels secure enough to relax. This is why they are comfortable watching their woman struggle. Just like some men sit back while their wives raise the children, do the housework, and manage the household entirely alone, they refuse to ease her burden financially either. It's not just neglect, it's a deliberate choice. They don't want women to have a soft life. A man who truly loves his woman wants to make her life easier, not harder. He doesn't want her exhausted, overworked, and anxious about money. He doesn't want her counting every dollar before she makes a purchase, stressed about whether the bills will get paid. A man who loves his woman wants to provide, because provision is love in action. So, when a man has the means to step up and says, "No, we're still doing 50-50, what he's really saying is, I don't care enough about your well-being to carry the weight that I could. And when a man who has the full capacity to cover everything still chooses not to, it sends a clear message: his love has limitations. The selective provider: my money is mine, your money is ours. Some men believe that paying all the bills is giving a woman too much comfort, a comfort they don't think she deserves. They see their money as exclusively theirs and the woman's money as fair game for household expenses. In their mind, a woman should contribute financially and be responsible for making sure he enjoys a stress-free, catered-to existence. It's not about partnership, it's about getting the benefits of a traditional relationship without the traditional responsibilities. The myth of fairness in a 50-50 household. On paper, 50-50 sounds logical. Two adults, two incomes, splitting the bills, what's unfair about that? But reality hits differently when you dig deeper. Many women in 50-50 setups aren't just splitting finances, they're still carrying the majority of domestic labor. They're still managing the kids, cleaning the house, planning meals, remembering birthdays, and doing the emotional heavy lifting, all while working a full-time job. Let's ask the uncomfortable question: if she's doing all that and paying half the bills, where exactly is the equality? How does this arrangement benefit her beyond keeping the peace with a man who refuses to fully provide? The soft life paradox: he wants luxury, but she should suffer. Ironically, while these men refuse to create a comfortable, financially secure environment for their partner, they expect to live a soft life themselves. They want a woman to nurture, cook, clean, uplift, and cater to them even as she juggles financial burdens they refuse to lift. It's not about balance. It's about exploitation. Some men don't want a partner, they want a sponsor, a caretaker, a woman whose desperation ensures she won't challenge his authority. He'll make sure the bills are split down the middle, but that won't extend to splitting housework fairly. He won't take on the emotional weight of the relationship. He won't alleviate any of the daily stresses she faces. And he definitely won't create an environment where she could one day say, "I think I want to stay home," because the idea of her resting is offensive to him. These men aren't looking for a wife to cherish. They're looking for a worker. And the moment she wants to step back, she realizes the job was never optional. Provision is love. Lack of provision is something else. Having a man who covers all the bills while his woman has the freedom to stay home or work and save her money? That's not just a financial arrangement, it's a flex. Whether he is rich or not, it demonstrates real commitment, not just in words but in action. In fact, it's an even bigger flex if he isn't rich, because he is sacrificing to ensure you are comfortable. It says, "I want you to feel secure." It says, "I want you to rest easy." It says, "I got us." On the flip side, refusing to provide when he absolutely could may just be a lack of love, it's a conscious decision to deny her comfort. And what do you call a man who chooses to make life harder for the woman he claims to love? A hater. Final thoughts: women deserve better than struggle love. Relationships should be partnerships, but true partnership means balance, not burden. A woman should never have to ask herself, if I needed to quit, could I, only to realize the answer is no because her man refuses to step up. Struggle is not love. Tiredness is not commitment. And financial vulnerability should not be the price a woman has to pay for being with a man who would rather watch her burn out than create a space where she can breathe. So, the real question isn't, why won't men fully provide for their women? The question is, why are so many women settling for men who refuse? At the heart of this behavior is not a financial issue, but a power issue. Some of these men could pay all the bills, but they won't, because doing so would mean making life easier for a woman they don't respect enough to cherish. They'd rather watch her struggle, they'd rather keep her tired, and they'd rather benefit from her care while ensuring she gets little in return. Not every man who prefers a 50-50 arrangement is operating with this mindset, but the ones who do create an environment where the woman in the relationship has no real freedom to choose a different path. Financial equality isn't the issue is when equality is twisted into something that keeps a woman working indefinitely while giving a man the comfort and security she'll never get. For these women, the idea of quitting work and embracing a softer life isn't just difficult, it's impossible. They don't have supportive partners, they have overseers who refuse to loosen the grip. And that's not partnership, that's control. Thank you for joining me in today's discussion on the dynamics of 50-50 relationships and the impact they have on women. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Remember, relationships should be about mutual support and respect, not control. Let's continue the conversation and work towards understanding and empowerment. Until next time, take care and prioritize your well-being. What do you think? Are most women forced to go 50-50? Let me know in the comments section. Stay bougie. Follow and support me. All links in bio. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check description for more info. New episodes every day.